I left behind 11 years ago the humidity, mosquitoes, lakes, streams, and miles of forest in the Adirondacks, New York, to the man-made aqueducts, sunny sky, dry, and high elevations of Colorado. At first I noticed that the horizon was bigger, an account that the trees were far and few between. The moon is much larger here, and I assume the sun is closer to us as well. Breathing was difficult, and I felt like I was in a constant state of dehydration. You need to drink a couple quarts a day here. Funny thing is, I do not remember drinking water back in New York. Everything seems to have a sharp point here. The rocks, grasses, vegetation. The grass is the color of the wheat, and the stone was not gray, but red, yellow, blue, and even brown. The mountains are not smooth boulders, but rough and unstable slabs of stone, slipping under your feet as you walk. The soil seemed to be dust and hardened clay. I took many photos over the years and learned to appreciate Colorado even more. It gets hot here, and the sky is blue most of the year. However, it is a blue that pales in comparison to that of a sky near great bodies of water. The winters seem long, but the snow only remains for a moment. The sun never is really far away in Colorado. So it's vacation time. For me, I'm getting 2 weeks off and I am flying over to New York State, way up in the North Country, where I will be doing several hikes up here, and I hope to take you along on my little journey. If you like this channel, please like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Wheelchairs will not be available until the end of the deep cleaning process, and this will also allow us to better assist you.
That's a lot of water. Hey there. So I'm in New York. I've been here a couple days now, and I'm ready to do some mountains. So I decided to do Giant Mountain. It's located about an hour south of here, and it's one of the high peaks. It's the 12th largest, and from what I remember when I was 20 or so, is that this is going to be a real hard hike. So let's get going. Okay, so we're at the base of Giant Mountain. I don't have a map, so I'm relying on the wide trails to navigate. This is completely different from Colorado hiking. You're not all exposed, you're in the shade, so it's kind of nice. I'm going to carry on and just continue to video on spots I find interesting. Hope you enjoy. Very, very beautiful here. You don't want to fall down there. So one of the things you'll notice in the Adirondacks is the ground is like pine needles and it's soft to walk on, but you continuously to hear this thumping as you're stepping on the ground. The other thing you notice, a lot more humidity. It's keeping it cooler here. Makes it actually really nice to walk in. I just caught my breath. We're finally on a somewhat flat surface, but we'll carry on. One of the things you may not know of me is that the Adirondacks, New York, was my stomping grounds for about 20 years, maybe even more. And I've hiked over 20 normal range size mountains out here, and I've hiked about, I think it's 14 of the high peaks, and Giant Mountain just happened to be one of them. This is all before I moved out to Colorado, which is completely 100% different for sure. But I definitely enjoy coming out here once in a while and getting those legs strengthened. Originally, before I went on this vacation, I was going to drive out here, and there's a trail. It's 110 miles from basically like Saratoga Springs all the way up to Lake Placid. But other things that are more important occurred, so I decided just to do a few short hikes while I'm out here, which I plan on videotaping them all for you before I head back to Colorado. Maybe I'll get a couple boat trips in as well. You can see everything's granite out here. Compasses don't work because there is, I think they're called mag stones, and they basically just have a lot of iron in them, so they mess with your compasses. So don't rely on that. Rely on GPS. Oh, look, we got a nice cool little water feature going on here. Another thing, Colorado, you really have to look for the water. It's not so obvious and numerous as over here. Beautiful. Okay. It's deeper than it was. I'll try this holding my phone. Okay, all right, so we're about a mile in. Hasn't been too crazy bad yet, but I'm coming up on one of the first of the 5 or 6 false peaks. That's when you can look up, you can see through the trees, you see the light coming through, you're like, all right, I'm almost there. And then, crap, you got another one to go over, and another one. And Giant's just full of these false peaks. I imagine the last mile is probably going to be pretty vicious on the legs. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Adirondacks. There's 1 million acres purchased by the Rockefellers and then donated back to the state of New York. So there's very few roads in it. And as far as I know, you're not allowed to build new establishments on the land at all. Another historical fact is that the Adirondack area was home of one of the First Nations of the Native Americans, and this area was called the Iroquois Nation. It consisted of the Algonquin, the Seneca, the Iroquois, the Mohawks. There's another one that starts with a W. I can't remember it. And they were very spiritual people. In fact, they would not go into the Adirondacks at all because they thought it was full of evil spirits. I could kind of see that. It's fairly dark in here, right? A lot of big things that could be mistaken for other things. Or maybe they did see spirits. However, as you watch the movie Last of the Mohicans, the Mohicans were wiped off the earth. The others, I don't know about them. I just know there's a Cherokee reservation around here, which is not part of the Iroquois Nation. So just thought you'd want to know that. I wanted to talk about relativity between hiking Colorado mountains out west and the Adirondacks in the east. I believe the Appalachians are similar to the Adirondacks, whereas it's a lot of up and down, really steep. Whereas in Colorado, most of those trails were made by people on horses. And horses don't like steep inclines, so most of those trails out there are actually very slight sloped, and you have a lot of switchbacks. Where out here, somebody deemed it was cool to just have everything go straight up. Very little switchbacks. So it's very hard on your legs. Other thing I wanted to point out is you're saying, okay, it's only a 5,000 foot mountain. Over there, they're 12,000 footers. Well, the thing is, over here you start at 350 feet sea level. So you're actually doing 4,000+ miles. I mean, feet, not miles. And out west, you basically drive to the trailhead, which is already at 8,000 to 10,000 feet up. So, yeah, you go up to 3,000 feet from your car, and it's not as steep, but then you're dealing with altitude, so I definitely think the mountains out here are harder to climb. Just my opinion. Come find out for yourself. So you might think that I'm partial to one or the other places to hike, Colorado via New York, and I'm not partial at all. I think they're both beautiful in their own reasons, and I enjoy hiking in both places. Some have their strengths, some have weaknesses, some aspects I don't like. Like, I don't like the mosquitoes here in New York. And I guess out in Colorado, I don't like the a lot of dead trees out there and stuff. It's not so lush. So how do you know when you're in all this thick that you're getting towards the top of a spur or a false peak? You start seeing the light coming through more, the trees start getting shorter, and they actually turn more into pine trees. Short pine trees, that's what you're looking for. That means you're getting close. All right, this is the first opening I've encountered since climbing for the last hour and a half. You can see I'm on a big old slab boulder, and over there are some of the high peaks. Very, very beautiful. It's God at his best right there. Very few people know about these areas, the Adirondacks. It's surprising how many people don't know all this is up here. So, all this is tangible in my mind. I have a real hard time with all this social and political and stuff that's just, this I can grasp. I can't grasp any of that other stuff. People fighting, arguing, whatever you want to call what's going on. The divisions, all that stuff doesn't matter when you're out here. Tell you what, there's no racism up here. There's no inequality. You work to the top. It doesn't come down to you. This trail will always be here, ready for me to come back and tackle it again. But all that other stuff going on, that's all fleeting. Fleeting, and it can fleet in two different directions. Destruction or creation. One of the two. So it's good for you as a spiritual being to get out here in the wilderness once in a while. Get away from all that social media. You know, to me that's rotting your soul. It's just rotting you. Slowly killing you. On the contrast, this complete meditation in the way that I praise my God. So I guess there's some hypocrisy to what I just mentioned, because here I'm telling you to stay off social media. Yeah, look at here. I'm videotaping for social media. But I justify this, I guess, by saying that I've got a message that I'm kind of delivering here. There's a lot of metaphors in the forest and in the mountains, obstacles in your life, getting over them, like this nice big wall. We'll figure out how to get through this. I'm not gonna hold the camera though. No way. I need all my paws for this one. So I guess there's some laws in nature. That's where I was talking about tangibility. Things that are real. Paths and obstacles in your life. The thorny things, if you go off the path, doesn't make your life easier. Things have been set to be made fairly simple for us all. You just got to stay on the path of the laws that were established way before we were all born. When you take a detour, it slows down your progress in life. When you could have just kept going straight. Look how obvious the path is, you know? You go that way, you fall off a cliff. You go that way and you're going up through the thickets. So that's what I also meant by tangible. Things that are real, not the human-made things. I know you think I'm crazy, but I wouldn't argue that with you. And how do I know all this stuff? I'm like 2 months off from being 50. I've lived a somewhat decent life so far, but I tell you what, I've probably jumped off the path in life several dozens of times. So it's not like I'm pointing fingers at you, I'm just stating stuff that I've learned and I'm still learning. Oh, I'm trying to make better decisions in my life these days. I'm sure most of you are too. And that's what makes us distinct from the animals. They run on instinct, and we distinctively think and make decisions based on that. All right, I gotta catch my breath. So I was told I'm about 45 minutes to ending this adventure. I missed the last sign down there telling me how many miles I've gone, but we're getting there. See what I mean by the short trees? This is just a false peak though. When we get up to the real top, there will be no trees. But here we go again. So I'm done ranting about deep thoughts. We're going to just continue hiking. This is one of the first false peaks. That's what I'm talking about. Short trees and an obvious top. But then you got to descend back down this spur. And up there. That's going to be another mile at least. Yep, that bad boy. Yep, so we're gonna go down and up a couple more of these false peaks, and we'll see you later. Another false peak. More rock. Another false peak. This is, I think, the third one. But as long as these keep getting narrower, I know that I'm almost done. My legs are just busted right now. I have a feeling when I go downhill, my knees are going to act up though. I have weak downhill knees. So, guess who made it to the top? My legs are completely busted. We'll see how I do going downhill. I implore anybody that can get out to this mountain, giant mountain, giant of the valley, you should do so. It's well worth it. Ahead of me, that tallest peak is Mount Mercy, which means I think Little Wolf Jaw and Upper Wolf Jaw is over there, and let me see, White Face is way over there. Big Slide, I think Big Slide's over there too, and Gothics, and Little Nipple Top, and Dix. And all those mountains down there, I most likely have never climbed, but a bunch of these over here, except with the exception of Mercy, and I think I went to Big Slide, Little Wolf Jaw, Upper Wolf Jaw, and I got elevation sickness up there, so I came down just shy of sacking that peak, or bagging that peak. I don't know what they call it, whatever. But yeah, I've done, let's say, 80% of the mountains from White Face over to the high peaks, and then I've done at least like 14 of the high peaks, which are all over 4,000 feet. This one I think is 4,200 some feet. But anyhow, we made it. So the backpack I brought this time is my waterproof gauge. They don't make these anymore. They're impossible to get. There might be a few out there on eBay or something that you can get, but they're 100% waterproof. I guess maybe they had issues with the seams or something, I don't know, but I haven't had an issue with mine. I just put this duct tape on the bottom to keep it abrasive. And I added this little netting on here. But it's pretty decent little pack. I think it's 30 gallon, but it's basically too big for a day pack, but I have no other backpacks out here, so I just use, this is my get home bag. I keep it in the back of my truck with stuff to be able to get home, obviously. Even keep sleeping bags and new stuff, but I'm starving. I didn't even eat breakfast before I did this hike, and I've gone up this entire mountain eating one peach. That's really bad for you. But let's show you what I brought. You know, I'm a fan of Gladiator lunch boxes, so I got me some Cracker Barrel cheese and some extra sharp, so it holds up better in the heat with anything else. And here's what Gladiator. I have a lunch box with that big old chunk of meat. Okay, that's what you need when you're hiking. You need fat, because fat burns for endurance. Carbs are for speed, fats are for endurance. And you all know that hiking is an endurance game, so fat, more fat. That's all you really need. Alright, I'm going to eat this and head on down the mountain. Stay up here for a little bit and enjoy the view and the silence. One last thing I wanted to mention is when you're visiting New York and you're up on one of these high peaks, there is endangered alpine flowers. And these are the very ones that we're talking about. So do not step off of the rocks when you're up on top, okay? So I thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel and you will be automatically notified of new videos that come out. Oh, see ya.